Greetings, travelers.
Greetings, travelers, for alien April. Oh,
Wow.
I
You
just hope you bask in my magnificence, Mark.
just
Bask in it.
knock my socks off every time, I swear.
It's
Or maybe
hashtag
I should put
life
some
goals.
on. If I put some socks on, maybe that would make it a little tougher. But yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Are you ready for this?
I am. I cannot believe we're halfway through April already, though. Can
I
you
know
believe that?
it's flying. I mean, it's just past tax day. We survived that. We've moved on to bigger and better things, and we're coming up on, oh my god, how many episodes? This is insane how many episodes we've done of this.
It really is. It is. And what I'm excited about is this month, probably in the next week or so, we're going to be recording another live listener tales episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited for that, and then that'll be airing a few weeks after that for the regular listeners, but for our patrons, they can join us live while we record that, and they can even chime in. So if you get a chance, go to eerietravels.com and go to our Patreon and sign up, and
Yeah. No, there's a lot
couple
of
bucks
stuff.
a
Our
month.
Discord is
Yep.
amazing.
We've got a fun little community on there, and for a couple bucks a month, you can be a part of it. So we don't ask a lot.
Exactly. So shout out to our patrons. Dun, dun, dun.
But today we're gonna dive right in because one of the things we get talked about a lot is
Yeah.
when we have our takes on pop culture, correct?
Oh, I think people definitely, we can use the word talk about it, but I also think that, you know,
Debate, colorful debate. Have you seen Poor Things yet with Emma Stone that won the Academy Award last year for she won Best Actress?
no, no, not
Uh,
yet.
it's basically a Frankenstein story. She's created and is coming to terms with life as a woman in a very steampunk world. And one of the things she learns very quickly is that she really enjoys sex, and she calls it vigorous jumping. So,
Ooh.
so maybe we should call this vigorous debate.
Vigorous debate. I like it. I like it. And I think one of the parts of vigorous debate that's going to be fun about this is we get asked very frequently from listeners and stuff what our favorites are in certain categories. And because it's Alien April, we decided to do our favorite alien movies,
Yeah,
right?
we were gonna do alien movies and TV shows, but then we realized that was just way too much. So TV shows maybe next to Alien April.
Yes, maybe next Alien April or some other time. We are going to take a look at X-Files and do a little bit of a deep dive on X-Files because it's coming back for season 12.
What?
Did you
Yeah,
know that?
I heard that
Spoiler
they've been
alert.
talking about it. They've been talking about it, so I
Yeah,
was
no, apparently it's set.
season 11 was hit or miss, but there were bits of it that I really enjoyed. I love the Where Human episodes with Rice Darby's was who was great in that as the lizard that turns into a human. Uh,
Yes, yes. But okay, so today is not about that though, Mark.
no, no, we are gonna dive right in to some of the best movies about aliens. Now, to narrow this list down, because when I was first compiling this, I literally had hundreds. And
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh gosh, because this one kind of counts, and then this one kind of counts, this one kind of counts. But one of the things I decided was like, if we were gonna do a series, like a movie that had several movies in the series, including the aforementioned Alien series or the Predator series, which technically are the same universe, Star Wars, Star Trek, that sort of thing. We kind of just need to pick like maybe a top one, and if there is a reason, maybe two.
Well, and I think we can do a deep dive on Star Wars and Star Trek at some point. And I
At
feel
some
like
point.
that's a little different. Like there are aliens in that, but it's really, I don't put that in my, like when I was thinking about alien movies, those weren't in my categories. Now,
Well,
the Aliens movie and the Predator movie are because the main characters really are
well,
aliens.
technically, like I said, in Star Wars, everything is an alien in Star
Yeah.
Wars, including Luke and Han and everything. But I think the reason that first one works so well in that, we'll go ahead and just start with that one. Let's
Okay,
start with
let's start with that one.
Star Wars. It's because we get Luke and his journey into this other universe. We're seeing it through his eyes, and that's when we get to the cantina, and suddenly there's aliens everywhere. before that, even, with the stormtroopers, Darth Vader, and all that on the spaceship, we don't really see aliens. We just see guys in armor fighting other guys. And then suddenly the cantina, it's the whole galaxy. And we get to
Yeah.
see all these crazy, strange things. And that opens up our universe. And by the time Empire rolls around, yeah, there's a lot more aliens in that because they had a bigger budget and they were able to throw in more aliens. But I think by that time we've already know that this galaxy is aliens and full of things like that. So that's why I think the first one counts as
It's true.
our.
And one of the things I want to say about a lot of the Star Wars movie, there's a great behind the scenes that you can watch about the making of it and how they came up with the sounds and stuff. Because you got to remember, this was done in the 70s. There was not CGI. That was not a thing. That didn't exist. It was all models and creation. And I think that's part of the reason, and it will lead to my segue into one of my next favorites. It's the top of my list, but I talk about it all the time. So I'm going to do the short version, is that it holds up because like the aliens were makeup and puppets and stuff like that. They were not CGI generated characters where like we love the Lord of the Rings, which is not an alien movie, but a lot of the CGI is not holding up anymore when you watch it.
Yeah.
So this movie, Star Wars, besides the 20,000 remakes that Mr. Lucas has done, held up because of the puppetry and the makeup and stuff like that of all the creatures. And anyway, yes. Okay. Star Wars acknowledged
Well,
into
but that's why we're gonna do that on these series is like
yeah.
so we'll go from Wars to Trek.
Okay, so Wars, it's Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back's my favorite.
It's my favorite. If we're doing favorites, Empire Strikes Back of all of the 9 movies.
Yeah.
Followed very closely by Rogue One, which needs to be included because I think it's brilliant. So
yeah, I agree. It was definitely the best one since Empire. The only good one since Empire, in my opinion. I'm not
I agree
a
with
Jedi
you,
fan.
unfortunately.
I don't even like Jedi because it was all Muppets.
Yeah.
I agree with Kevin Smith. It was all Muppets, and then they killed Boba Fett for a burp joke. And not just a burp, the second burp joke of the movie. So no. It's the first one though hit me when I was a kid and it sucked me into that galaxy far, far away. So my nostalgia factor puts number one as the original. But okay, so let's go Trek. All right.
Trek, hands down, my favorite Trek movie is Galaxy Quest.
I was gonna say that's the Trek movie that should have been. That's actually one of my favorite alien movies because it really shows different types of aliens, the different way the galaxy works, and what they would think of our stuff. It's kind of funny because everybody talks about what a brilliant idea Galaxy Quest was, and apparently they did pitch it to the Star Trek people.
Yes, they did, and they went no.
And
it would have been not the same, but it would have been so brilliant if the Star Wars cast was willing to take themselves as comically as they do in Galaxy Quest. I love Galaxy Quest. My friend Rosa, shout out Rosa, introduced me to it. Oh my God, it's one of my favorite. I will rewatch that movie a million times. If we're talking actual Trek movies, Wrath of Khan is my absolute favorite.
Wrath of Khan is one of the best. Again, I don't think there's enough aliens in it to count as best alien movie. That's the problem with a lot of Trek is that it's not really aliens, except the Vulcans are aliens, the Klingons are aliens. But
Khan was an alien. Do you not remember the first episode? He was an alien.
No, he's human. He's just an enhanced human. He was born on Earth, and he took over the Earth. He's a genetically enhanced. He's eugenics.
Well, the earwigs did it for me. Those creatures that are aliens that lived on that planet, that did it for me.
Okay. My actual one is 4. I like Star Trek 4 because it's so much fun, but because the whales are aliens, which explains a lot.
No, it totally does. And I have to just say, honestly, that one of my favorite things in the Star Trek is the TV shows. I think the movies are good, but the TV shows are amazing. But I don't want to spend a lot of time because I feel like it's very human based. Even when they added aliens to the ship, they bipedal, whatever.
I like that they actually did an episode where they were kind of doing an Ancient Aliens thing. They do an episode of Next Generation where they discover that this ancient race seeded a bunch of planets and that's why they all are bipedal humans and stuff like that. And I love somebody else joked, and that's why some of these each race has a Jeffrey Combs. Yeah. It's one of our favorite actors who plays a different alien and everything. But yeah, no, that's Trek is Trek, Wars is Wars, and you can like them both, gang. You're allowed. You're allowed. Or you can
That's
dislike
true.
either one if you want. So it's
Yeah.
fine. But you do have to
We
like one or the other. You do have to pick at least one.
The other franchise that we can talk about is Aliens and the
Yes.
Predator movies. And of course, I'm number two, Aliens with the S,
Yep.
hands down. One of my just favorite movies of all time is Aliens, but it still holds up. Director's cut. Love that movie. Love on Netflix. They did the making of the movies we love. What is that called? There's some show.
Yeah, just something like that. It's like the
How
movie
it's made. Yeah, movies that made us. And they did a
Yeah.
great one on aliens because there was a person in the alien suits. Like that was again, that movie had a $15 million budget. And one of my favorite parts of this, and it's a shout out to Sigourney Weaver, who is one of my favorite heroines of all time, like Carrie Fisher. She was one of the few female leads that was a badass, right?
Badass, but no magical reason for it, just a badass. Yeah.
Just a badass. And they announced they were making it and that she was in it before they did contract negotiations. So back in the day, she went, cool, you need to give me $1 million to make this movie, which was huge at that time. Like that was no way, but they had no choice because they already announced that she was in this movie. So of the $15 million budget, 1 million went to Sigourney
Weaver. Yeah, she's a genius. I still, between them, the first one I love for its own reasons, right? It's incredible. It is basically a B movie, but with Ridley Scott at the helm, it turns into art. It is incredible. Should just be a B horror movie from the 50s, but no, it's insanity how cool it is.
It isn't the pacing of it, I thought was one of the more brilliant things. Because again, this thing gets on the ship, and if you look at a face hugger on face value, look what I did there. That's not a very terrifying creature. It kind of looks like a hand, with the tail.
Right.
Chasing after you. That's not. But the way it's set up and the way it's brought into the situation and all of that, like, it's terrifying because for people who don't remember, unlike Aliens, where they're encountering a hive of these things, basically, right?
Right.
And a queen, this is one alien on the ship. One.
Yeah, exactly. And it opens up the whole universe of this, right? It's and you only see really glimpses of the other stuff, right? The original captain in the chair and all that, and definitely going with the Giger inspired set pieces and stuff, and is so incredible that it's spellbinding. That's why I love the first one, and the second one is fun. It's action, it's a blast, and we learn more about the alien culture, the way they multiply and all that. It's very cool. And then again, we go into the Predator series. I think the first one and the second one are both amazing movies in different ways.
I think they are. I wrestle a lot with when they brought them together, and I think Prometheus is a giant pile of garbage. I didn't watch the one after Prometheus, so I can't tell you if that was more of a giant pile of garbage.
It wasn't very good either. So
so I ignore those. So just if you're listening, I may piss you off, travelers. Prometheus can suck it. It was absolutely a terribly done movie.
Terrible. Yeah, no, agreed.
Alien versus Predator. I had so much high hopes for it.
Yeah, all they had to do was follow the comics or do something or one of the novels. There had been so many things doing it, and then they couldn't stick the landing. It was
they couldn't. And I have to say, one of my favorite video games, I'm doing a shout out, is on the Jaguar system. There was an Alien versus Predator game.
That was the only reason to own that system, man.
That was the reason I owned it, was that game, because it was probably one of the best, well laid out games where you could play the human, the alien, or the predator.
And with the surround system.
Oh,
That was one of the first games of full surround sound. Oh my gosh. Terrifying. Terrifying when you could hear those aliens coming. Even if you were the badass predator, you were
yeah.
like, crap, they're coming. Yeah, no, that was an incredible thing. No, I like the first Predator, just, Arnold and everybody, all the characters are amazing. It's just a fun action movie. And then the twist, oh, the Predator shows up. That's the best
Well,
part
and
of
you
it.
know what I really liked? So the dynamics between the two that I thought was interesting, and then we have so many movies to cover,
Oh
so
yeah,
we'll
we got a
move
lot to
on.
go into, so we'll
Is
move on.
the first Alien movie, they're a salvage ship. Like that,
Right.
they salvage, wreck things to make money off of it. These are not, they're like junk hunters. They are not soldiers by any stretch of the imagination, which is what made that movie really interesting for me, because that's what would happen to most of us if that happened, right?
Right.
And then you take Predator, where you have, what was interesting is you have all these very highly trained combat people, right?
Yeah.
And this just goes to show you what happens when you are not trained for a particular situation, because
Right.
it didn't matter all of their combat skills in the world, this thing out hunted them,
Yep.
right? So anyway, that was
And that's why I liked the second Predator, because we got a cop, and it's freaking Danny Glover, 2 days from retirement, Danny Glover again, always 2 days from retirement, and he's having to fight this damn thing. Shout out to the guys in the suits.
yeah.
They did hells of a job on that. The same guy was also Harry and the Harrisons, which is so funny. He's the Predator. Originally, the Predator was supposed to be Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
yeah, and he got in the suit and everything, and he hated it. He hated everything about it, right? But so they gave it to this other guy, this really tall guy named Kevin Peter Hall. And so he's this huge guy, and so he takes over the Predator suit. He had also done some of the Alien in Aliens, in Alien, and then he does Predator, and then he goes on to do Harry and the Hendersons as the Bigfoot. And he was a super nice guy. If you ever want to see him out of his costumes, he was in the show Misfits of Science. He was the very large scientist who could shrink down to nothing. So
Wow.
but I worked with him on the Harry and the Hendersons TV show at one point, behind the scenes at Universal Florida, and he was super nice. Sadly, gone too soon. So,
Yeah, no,
but
it's terrible. But shout out to any of the actors that don't get acknowledged
they
for
don't get
being
acknowledged. The
alien.
guys in the suits. I loved when Star Wars started doing behind the masks, and the guys would show up at conventions. That was always nice. So, all
Yeah.
right. So since we're kind of doing series, this was never made into a series. It was made into a TV series, but it was a movie that I think is probably the best expression of aliens for a human to experience, and that is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I
Right?
love that book. I liked the movie. I thought they actually did an okay job with the movie.
Okay, not a very faithful adaptation.
No, I love the British TV show
The
though.
TV
It is
show,
so cheesy, but for me, it brought the grunge of the book. He never describes, besides the one spaceship, them being very, like when he's talking about the Vogon ship, which if you
it's
read or seen
garbage.
the
Yeah,
movie, it's a giant junk pile of dirtiness, right?
yeah.
Like it's gross. And I felt like the TV show did just such a great adaptation of it, even though it was 19 what 70s.
Late 70s, yeah. And that was
Yeah,
an adaptation from the radio show, which it was actually the radio show first, then it became the book, and then it becomes the TV show, and then it becomes the movie years later. And again, the movie, if nothing else, watch it for Sam Rockwell as the president of the Galaxy, Zaphod Beeblebrox. He does an amazing job in it. And Martin Freeman is a perfect Arthur Dent, who is your everyman, every
yes.
British man who's exploring the galaxy in his bathrobe. That's all you need to know about it. And of course, Stephen Fry in the movie version is the voice of the book. And then the great Alan Rickman, who was also in Galaxy Quest, is the great voice of Marvin the Paranoid Android. So
Oh my God, I love Alan Rickman. He is one of
Oh.
my favorite humans in the world.
So that would be mine down towards low end recommendation, but I definitely say worth the recommendation. And if nothing else, high end recommendation: watch the TV series or listen to the radio show.
And we're gonna put all the links to these favorites. So
Oh my gosh,
want
there's gonna be so many links on this one. This is gonna be fun. So
yes, I want to throw two oldie but goodies right before the break that might shock you. These aren't on my top list, but they're ones that I think need a little shout out.
Yep.
As a child, Space Mountain.
Witch Mountain?
Witch Mountain. Sorry,
Witch Mountain.
Yeah.
Return to Witch Mountain is probably one of my one that messed me up as a kid, man. That one.
It totally screwed me up as a kid.
Yep.
Oh my God. Return to Witch Mountain. Ugh, hands down. I know they
Witch
redid
Mountain,
it.
Return to Witch Mountain. Yes, they were incredible.
They were.
The kids in that were genius. Disney needs to go back to making scary ass kids movies. Come on. Those were incredible.
Terrifying. And another one, so that was brilliant. And I think if you haven't had a chance to watch it as an adult, you should, because these movies were made a lot on the acting abilities of people, because there weren't the special effects that we have now that can steal the show. The other one, which again did not have special effects, but I think needs a little shout out, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
I guess she's an alien because she's hit by alien energy.
It's alien energy, and she grows 50 feet, and she's basically wearing a bikini.
Yeah. And I was going to say, with the eclipse just passed, if anybody bought a plant, there is the chance that Little Shop of Horrors may happen, because he was an alien plant that beamed down. So Audrey 2.
Yes.
So
which again is a brilliantly acted movie. Oh
yes.
My God.
And a remake of the old original 1950s Roger Corman classic, which had a very young Jack Nicholson in a cameo as the dentist patient that enjoys torture, which Bill Murray does in the remake so well.
Oh my gosh.
But definitely fun. All right, so I'm going to do two real quick ones before the break.
Okay.
And I'm going to do the original, and then I'm going to do what I think is actually a funner, more modern tribute. The original, E.T.
Oh my God,
right?
that's on my list. That's on my list of top movies. Scared the shit out of me as a kid.
It's a classic for a reason. Spielberg, top of his game. And I loved that one of the things was he was such friends with George Lucas that he got the Yoda costume that was being licensed for Halloween and snuck it in and gave that as a joke of E.T. going, home, home. And then later on, when they're making episode 1, they put E.T.'s people in the Senate as a little cameo so that it does show that E.T. comes from the galaxy far, far away.
Oh, I forgot about that cameo because I hate that movie. Anyway, continue on.
Yeah. But there's a more fun remake. There's a movie called PG, Psycho Gorman. This is from 2020, and this is basically the same story. A bunch of bratty kids accidentally get control of an ancient alien warlord that they call Psycho Gorman.
I don't think I've ever seen this.
It is such a love letter to cheesy midnight movies and sci-fi schlock in all the best ways you can possibly imagine. And it's really got good actors in it. And the bad guy is just badass. I hope it's a cult classic at some point. I caught it on Joe Bob one night and fell in love with it. And it's incredible.
Well, I'm gonna have to check it out.
All right, so let's go to break, and then we'll get into. We're gonna rattle off a bunch coming up that I think you guys, if you haven't caught Psycho Gorman, definitely. But so we've hit some main ones right off the bat. Yeah. I think now we're gonna get into some oddballs and then some classics. So
I agreed. We will be right back, travelers.
Destiny Beard, the lyrical soprano who will haunt your dreams. With her alluring melodies and intricate harmonies, this dark siren of wistful song shall capture your soul and lead you into the night. Check out Destiny's new single, The Haunting Is Over, with international musicians Sam Haines and Gary Bennett, as well as her other musical works at destinybeard.com.
The sweltering heat of the Florida sun breaks as a chill runs down your spine. A dark shadow looms from a nearby tourist trap. You didn't expect to find this kind of shade in Florida. If only there was some sort of travel guide to steer you through the spookier locales. Well, you're in luck, reader. Join author Mark Muncy and Carrie Schultz as they lead you through the darkest locations in the Sunshine State in creepy Florida. Available from History Press and at fine bookstores everywhere. And we're back.
We're back, and we've had the materialization of one of our favorite humans in the entire world. Beau Lake has joined us.
I am here.
You're
Normally
coming
we
up
just
from
have
behind.
clickety clacking, and now we actually have the Beau Lake.
I have appeared from inside the Wayback Machine where you guys have had me locked.
Yes.
I'm sorry about that. After the last trip in the Wayback Machine, it
I
really
forgot
needs
to
get
let you
cleaned.
out. I had the window down at least. So
I felt like a dog in the back of the hot car.
Oh God, it probably smells in there too. Okay.
Oh.
Anyway,
living on Fritos and orange juice boxes. So this is
My
all good.
favorite diet. My favorite diet.
All right. Well, we've already done the franchises, so I'm gonna do a cluster real quick.
a cluster.
That I felt have the same kind of vibe, right?
Okay.
And the first is done by the great Peter Jackson.
Okay.
And long before he did his first one, which was Dead Alive. I guess it was actually his later one. It was Dead Alive, which was his gore fest. And then of course he goes on to do Lord of the Rings. I loved him in The Frighteners. I think this guy has always had great genre defying things. But one of his fun ones that is just, it's gory beyond belief, is Bad Taste.
Bad Taste.
I've never seen that
You've
one.
never seen Bad Taste? It is funny, it is entertaining, and it is gross. And it's basically aliens harvesting humans for fast food, right?
Oh.
And it's so ridiculous. You can't help but just love it. It's so satire and definitely not for the weak stomach, but too much fun. And I put it right there with my other favorite alien kill fest, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
It's right on par with that. Chibdo Brothers, oh my gosh, they did the Cheeto Brothers, they did that so good. It's incredible. It's one of those just too much fun. It takes every little thing you can think about with clowns and aliens and just throw them together. And then the last one is from James Gunn, our guy who later does Guardians of the Galaxy, another great alien movie, but without being very alien. But this one, he did one called Slithers.
Oh, Slithers.
Oh, I've
yes.
seen that. Yeah.
Yes. And those three have that same vibe, the town being invaded. I mean, it goes back to The Blob, which is another great alien invasion movie.
That was on my list.
Yeah,
Well,
the original or the 88 remake?
I like the 88 remake.
I actually do. I mean, I love the original for Steve McQueen, but the remake is so good. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I wouldn't put that in that same mold there.
Well, I like your battery. I have a couple too.
All right.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Classic. So that's up there in my scary invader movies. So yeah.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers I absolutely loved and was terrifying to me.
Oh yeah.
That could happen.
Again,
right?
original and remake. Even the newer remake isn't terrible. It's really good. So
And that one has the same vibe as The Faculty, which was on my list.
there you go. That's on my scary list. Yep.
Agreed. And then another one that's kind of weird to me, not actually scary, but I literally got done with it and then went, I really probably ought to read this book, is Annihilation.
That's a good one.
That's classic. It's become a modern classic. I think a lot of people don't know how to take that one, but I love it. I think it's really, really good.
Yeah.
I think about that bear that does the human screams all the time.
Yes.
That was such a good scene.
It really was. And it's just, and you're also almost the entire time going, what the fuck is happening, right?
What is this movie
Yeah,
about?
what is going on in this movie? So I love that. I'm gonna go with, because Body Snatchers was on my list. I'm gonna go into Scaryville. Are we ready to go into Scaryville?
We can go into Scaryville.
Yeah.
We can go into
Okay.
Scaryville.
Species.
Oh, good one.
Species, I thought was brilliantly done because one of the things it did, unlike a lot of alien movies, is it brought sex into it.
Yeah.
It's this gorgeous, beautiful woman that is the creature, you know, and it brought that whole allure. And they kept making them. I think they're on like species 487. I don't know where they got to on it. But that first one was creepy as shit.
Yeah.
And was very, very scary. Another one that I have a very hard time watching because the way the movie was edited, right? Event Horizon.
Don't
Oh,
talk
yeah.
badly about my favorite movie.
No, no,
Erika.
that
It's
is
just hard for me to watch because the flashing scenes, like it's difficult. Event Horizon, though.
Well, those scenes were longer, and then they made him cut them. So that would have been like 5 minutes of the movie, and they were like, "No, you can't have this in this movie."
Yeah.
Well, understandably so, because oh my God, right? But yeah, Event Horizons, it was scary as crap, right? And you don't know if it's aliens or not.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what my husband was arguing when I was going over my list with him.
Yeah.
He was like, "Does Event Horizon even count? Because it's about the hell dimension, like in
Right.
space. It's not
Well,
about
that's like
aliens."
the black hole was one of the ones I was debating because there's no alien, but it's enough odd stuff that it was definitely no for my scary peak scary alien movie, The Thing.
Oh,
Oh,
love
yeah.
that movie.
OG and remake. Oh my gosh. And I
I
even
haven't
like
seen the
new
remake.
prequel thing that was done. It's knowing what's going on. I'm just my only complaint about the prequel thing is we know the endings. So, again, I'm not a big fan of prequels, but the original The Thing, John Carpenter's remake, those two are perfection. The old 50s one also, wow. Terrifying, terrifying. Right up there with Alien.
Agreed.
No, just nightmare inducing. I would say, since we're talking about The Thing, I got to go a little side slip there. Let's go to one of my other ones that's just kind of fun, another John Carpenter, and that would be They Live.
Oh,
Probably
yes.
the most successful alien invasion ever done on film because they did it and we didn't know. It was very cool. But if nothing else, enjoy it for Roddy Piper's amazing fight scene with Keith David that lasts 20 minutes.
That's true.
To put on a pair of sunglasses. But for
That's
those
true.
who know they live, it's basically the aliens have already taken over and they're hiding amongst us unless you wear these special glasses, which lets you see them. And of course, they're the wealthy and powerful, and the everyday Joes have to survive.
It's true. And it's kind of funny when you think, okay, these sunglasses to look at them, blah, blah, blah. But that was really, they were scary. That was a scary situation.
And
that makes me think of like 13 Ghosts too, where they like put on those like goggles and then they can see them.
Classic. Yeah, that was again a tribute to the William Castle where you had to put on the 3D glasses because they only had 3D glasses in 3D and 2 scenes. It's all they could afford. I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of Attack the Block?
Yes.
No.
I've seen it. It's very good.
Yeah, this is what I think the most realistic alien invasion would be because basically, most time aliens come in and the military try to fight them. War of the Worlds, classic, can't beat them. All this. This is what happens if it lands in a bad part of town, and you just basically everybody just grabs whatever's next to them and fights off the invasion. And it had future Doctor Who Jodie Whittaker in it, and future favorite stormtrooper Finn from the new movies. The only good thing about the new movies, he grabs a sword and starts fighting. And the great Nick Frost in a cameo because of Ron's weed room, which is Ron's room and it's full of weed.
Oh, wow.
but the aliens in that are incredible. They're these just darker than dark. It's very Lovecraft, where it's almost a color out of space where we can't figure out what they are and all that. Just so cool. It's a great movie. Great movie.
You know, we're talking about this. Another one on my list. Well, mine now goes away from being scary. Do you have more scary?
I have one
I
more
have more
scary.
I have more invasion movies, but
This is a divisive movie, and I can't say that I like it so much as it was interesting, and that's The Fourth Kind.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
interesting to like see like from a psychological standpoint of if people are having alien encounters and
Yes.
other people don't believe them, and I didn't mind the movie.
No, it could have been done better. I think the premise is amazing.
Yeah.
And that goes right up there. You know, we go Close Encounters, Third Kind. I was going to get into the actual alien, you know, the abduction movies. We've got
Mhm.
Communion, of course, is you know
What
Whitley
about
Strieber's
what about
account.
Starship Troopers?
I was going to get there. That was in my invasion movies, but Fire in the Sky is probably was on my
Oh
list
yes.
Oh
for
yeah.
and we've actually met Travis Walton at a couple conventions, and the guy who actually experienced it. It's one of those when you hear about it, it's guys go camping and one guy doesn't come back, and they say, "Oh, it's alien abduction," and it's not normally what you would think, but when you really experience it, it's incredible. And then Communion, when Whitley Strieber was doing it, that he was trying, they were talking about how some of it looked really cheesy and all that, but he's like, no, that's how it appeared to me as I was going through this. They didn't look real. They looked like they were wearing rubber suits and stuff like that. And he's like, so yeah, when they originally sent the aliens to me, they looked better, and I made them dumb them down because I wanted it to look more what actually happened to me. But no, Starship Troopers. Let's get into that. Let's get into the action.
Well, okay, one more kind of scary one. Let me throw this out there. Signs.
Yes, I was gonna put that in there. Yep, the last good Shyamalan.
Seriously. I
Yeah, and for
thought
the time it was scary. Like
it,
now looking back, you're like, but at the
well,
time,
I think when you know the reveal, but I thought the way it was placed and the way it was put together, because you get very quickly there's an alien. Like very quickly you get there's a problem, right? But I love how it incorporated the crop circles, which is talked about a lot. And
Yeah.
Resident Alien is my favorite thing when it comes to crop circles, the TV show where he
Yes.
talks about, using it to swear at people, like the equivalent of alien emojis,
Yeah.
which and George Takei being one of the gray aliens, I'm just gonna love that. But that was one. And another one that was pretty scary, I thought the way they did it was Nope, which
Yeah.
is
Oh,
my
yeah.
catchphrase, but Nope was very kind of
Like,
scary how it was built up, because when
avoiding spoilers, but yeah, that was definitely a very creative alien creature. So invasion movies, yeah, we're just Starship Troopers, where we're the invaders, which is great. And that's done a resurgence recently thanks to the game Helldivers 2, which basically makes you feel like you're in Starship Troopers. It's really cool. I liked there's one we just lost Louis Gossett Jr. or RIP. There's one Enemy Mine.
Oh my God, Enemy Mine. Oh, I just got chills. I love that movie.
Yeah.
And that movie, a lot of people don't realize, touches so heavily on race.
Oh yeah.
Like that movie, even though it's talking about aliens and it has, oh my God, what is his name?
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. That movie almost hurts your heartstrings when you realize the little subtext of what is going on
It's
in that
basically
movie.
two sides of an alien Cold War that's gone hot, and then they both crash on this planet, and then they have to learn each other's language, culture, and everything to survive. It's pretty it's pretty much smacking you in the head with its message, but does it make it any weaker? No, it's incredible.
Not at all. No, I love that movie.
That ending of that movie is, I tear up every time.
Yes.
So,
and another movie that's like that, in that like there's subtext and it's telling a different story beneath the story, is District 9.
District 9.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
And then an Alien Nation right there.
Yeah.
That's the other one like that, where how do these have already integrated into our society? They're the opposite of They Live, where they snuck in. These are here and we've got to deal with it. District 9 was cool because they were basically they did it as a short originally where they were asking about a migratory group of actual humans, and they were not telling people that they were going to make it into a thing about aliens. And it was cool that it just shows how racist we are even there,
Yeah.
and stuff. But then Alien Nation was the other version of that, where it's basically the aliens get sent to the slums and the ghettos of LA and have to live with us and all that. It's rough. Back to invasion movies. We got to do the classic Independence Day.
I was going to
Oh.
say Independence Day because I want to say so many things bad about that movie and the computer
Yes.
virus and all this stuff, but god damn do I love the characters in that movie.
Oh, you can't help it. The characters there's smarter movies, there's better movies, but for just fun, oh my gosh. I mean, that one and Mars Attacks, and they could not be more opposite sides of the coin, because Mars Attacks was everything amped up. Like everybody's just as big and as bombastic as they could possibly be, because it was taking fun of all the old 50s movies. But again, I think they're both fantastic in their own way. And I think, Independence Day got all the credit, and poor Mars Attacks got, kind of, oh, it's Tim Burton's not as good one. I think it's amazing. And I just,
I think the thing about Mars Attacks is that he really tried to make it like those 50s alien invader
yeah,
movies.
Earth versus the Flying Saucers all over again.
Yeah. And I think it was just hard for people to take. I know, like, even myself, I had a hard time with the Martian language going on as much as it did. It was just very hard to listen to. But one of my favorite lines to say forever in this lifetime is, I'm a pilot, I can fly.
Yeah, Independence Day. So.
I'm a pilot, I can fly.
I think my problem with Mars Attacks was that, like, how the aliens looked. Like, they looked so cartoony that I had trouble.
Well, they were based on the old
seriously.
trading cards, that started it all, which they looked like that. But that was the joke. I just loved their Congress when they wipe out Congress, and then Jack Nicholson's line as the president: "We have to let the American people know that they still have 2 out of their 3 branches of government, and 2 out of 3 ain't bad." There's another. We talked about Alien earlier. There was another classic called The Terror from Beyond Space, which is old 1958. That is probably that's what, if you watch it before you watch Alien, you realize how much Alien was inspired by it. And,
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to take a look.
I haven't either.
Yeah. So then we go back to Starship Troopers style. What about Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise? The one where it was basically die, repeat, die.
Oh, live, die, repeat.
Live, die, repeat. That was what they should have went with the title.
Well, they changed it now. Now that is the title.
That is the title. Yeah. But Edge of Tomorrow was basically the aliens were invading us and we're trying to survive. And the whole bit with that Bill Paxton doing the "get up, maggot" every time he dies. That's just.
Yeah. I did not love that movie.
Oh, I had fun with that one. Okay, we've got to go into what we talked about one before we got on.
Oh, it is my favorite invasion movie of all time. Favorite.
Yep. It's
Heartbreaker.
Right up there, my top, and that is Space Invaders.
So I have a story about Space Invaders. I may have told this, but here's the deal. I didn't know what this movie was. Went to a movie theater to see it with a friend of mine. His name was Mike Flanagan. Mike, if you're listening, shout out. Love your face. Haven't talked to you in a while. But we went to this movie and it starts playing. And I don't know what happened to me, but I could not stop giggling and laughing like through the entire fucking movie. This movie is so ridiculous. It is so funny. And I literally, people left the theater because I was laughing and I couldn't stop. Like, tears were coming down my face. I don't know what struck me as so funny when it started, but I couldn't stop after it started.
It is so smartly written. These little aliens. I think we talked about it at the Halloween, because I consider it one of my favorite Halloween movies. It's these aliens are near Mars and they hear the War of the Worlds broadcast and they think they're missing the invasion of Earth. So they rush to Earth. And of course, it's Halloween, so they get confused for trick-or-treaters, and just, it's hysterical. It's a kid's movie, but my God, is it fun.
And I have to say, one of the things too is you're seeing these aliens on the ship and you're expecting this very big to-do when they sitcom, right? Like it's huge. And
They're little 2 foot tall comic characters, and
yes,
their captain gets killed 5 minutes in because he gets hit by a semi crossing a road. And then a little bit later, they're blending in with trick or treaters, and this one girl's like, the mom is leading them around, goes, "Now remember, kids, look both ways before you cross the street." And they go, "Oh, if only Captain Bipto had known." Throwaway lines. It's so good.
oh my God. If you have not seen that movie, see that movie. Like
I haven't. I'm adding it to my list right now. It sounds great.
That's a great. It's so good.
The kids will love it too, because it's just, but it's so well written in a way, because these guys literally think they're doing this epic thing.
Yep.
And they're not.
And they're not. They're not. And the kids in it aren't annoying, which is hard to do sometimes with these kids movies. But okay, so we're staying with comedy. We got to go Paul.
Paul,
yes.
Yeah.
Paul.
I haven't thought of that movie in such a long time.
The Simon Pegg, Nick Frost that wasn't done by Edgar Wright, but is still classic. I love that they made their own fake Comic-Con for it. And Seth Rogen, of course, voicing Paul. It's a little jarring when you watch it, because it's like, oh, it's Seth Rogen again. But he does it so well. And now I watch him as on Invincible as Alan the alien, and he's fine. You know, it's like, oh, it's Paul. I can deal with that. Let's other comedy ones. You got to go Batteries Not Included.
Yes.
Where they're little alien probes is probably the most realistic alien invader. They're little tiny probes of the stuff we're even considering sending to other planets. And then I've got to go one more that I consider it a comedy, but it's also a great movie, and that is Destroy All Monsters. Because it's Godzilla. It's all the monsters on Monster Island are being taken over by aliens and used to attack the Earth because Ghidorah is coming. And come on, if you got to watch a Godzilla movie, an alien Godzilla movie is even better.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say Mothra is my favorite Godzilla part.
Yeah. Then I've got to go into 80s cheese. I love Flash Gordon.
I have my favorite comedy movie.
Okay.
Evolution.
Yes.
Evolution.
Discuss this. Yes, it's fantastic. The third Ghostbuster movie, in my opinion.
Oh my God. That movie does not get nearly the credit it deserves with how fucking funny those lines are. It is a cheesy movie, but it was so brilliantly written. And David Duchovny and Orlando
Jones, man, yeah.
Jones. My favorite is when he goes, "Yeah, no, I've seen this movie," and the black guy dies.
Yes.
And it's funny to see David Duchovny do like aliens, but do it funny. Instead of very serious like X-Files.
Yep, he had some great comic chops in that, and of course the infamous scene with the mosquito in the spacesuit, and then getting into Orlando Jones, and he's like we're gonna have to take the leg. It's like, don't take the leg, Doc. Don't take the leg. Let's go for his crotch. It's going for his groin. Take the leg. Take the leg.
Exactly.
I'm gonna have to go in rectally. Get the lubricant. There's no time for lubricant. There's always time for lubricant.
It just, the lines were so well written, and the supporting cast, Julianne Moore is in it. Like, just the cast is unbelievable, and
even has Dan Aykroyd.
Yes. Oh my God, the governor. I love it.
And ends being one of the greatest advertisements for hair soap and conditioner.
Of course, but again, very well written solution to the problem. I love it. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
What's next for you?
I have to go with the invasion from Planet 10 via the 8th dimension, and that is Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai in the 8th dimension. That is my all-time top 5 movie. I can watch it a million times over. It's the cast is incredible. I mean, you've got Peter Weller, you got Jeff Goldblum, you got John Lithgow, you got Christopher Lloyd, and so many more. and and it's Clancy Brown, and you feel like, again, you're coming into episode 6 of these people's lives. So it's a lived in, breathed in world and all that. I'm so sad it never got the proper sequels that it deserved, but it's incredible.
Well, and I think it was
and-
definitely at a time in movies, and we've talked about some of the movies from this time, where people like they were ahead of their time. People didn't get it. You
Yep.
know, they didn't
It
quite.
was badly advertised because this was right after everybody had to be the next Star Wars, right? Everything
Yeah.
had to be the next Star Wars, and so we had to come up with something. And again, I was just mentioned Flash Gordon, so many cool aliens and all that. They did it campy as hell because they didn't know how else to do it. They couldn't compete with Star Wars. They had to do it differently, and I think they're both amazing. I can watch both those movies over and over again and just have fun with them. But you've got to just do that. You got to have fun with them.
Yeah.
Last Starfighter, right up there.
Oh, I love The Last Starfighter.
My goodness, Robert Preston, the Music Man, basically playing the Music Man from outer space. It's the same part. I wish he'd gotten the best actor or best supporting actor for that because it's incredible. You know, Lance Guest is the kid from the trailer park who plays a video game so well, but it's secretly a recruitment tool for the to help defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. Again, great aliens in that too. So you really had there were some spooky scenes in that.
There were, but you know what it brought to life, I think, for me was that we all wanted to be playing a video game and somebody go, oh my God, she's the best at playing Gauntlet. Let's take her to the D&D world.
Yeah, yep.
By the way, that was my personal one. Everybody out there, I
I was a Gyrus fan. I could rock it on Gyrus. So
what about Tron?
No aliens in Tron.
There's no aliens in that.
Tron don't count. Tron sci-fi, but no aliens.
That's true. It's true.
I mean,
She just wants to talk about Tron. Is what's
wants to talk
happening.
I do
Tron,
want
I'm
to
good
talk
with
about
that.
Tron.
All right, how about The Day the Earth Stood Still?
Oh, yeah.
OG with Gort, and of course the more remake, but
I loved it. Wasn't there a book that was based on?
not that I recall.
I think so. Now
But,
I'm gonna look. Now I'm
have to
gonna
look
do
that one
clickety
up for me,
clacks for a
but,
moment while you guys talk about this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no,
clickety
the
clack.
aliens, they're gonna come and give us the secrets of the universe and all that. You know, that's always the thing. But basically, he's like, "Hey, you guys don't stop, nuking each other. We're gonna stop the world." And then what do? We shoot him. So, yeah, and then of course the famous line from that is because the Klaatu Barada Nikto, and that becomes something from Army of Darkness. So you gotta love your Bruce Campbell moments there. So
How the hell did you work Bruce Campbell into all of this?
He can
Because-
work Bruce
I wanna
Campbell
know.
into anything.
I
It
can work.
wasn't a book. I don't know what book I'm thinking of. I'll think of it eventually and then I'll share it with everybody. But there is
Yeah.
a book that reminds me of.
And of course, we've got Men in Black. the
Yes.
movie series. I still think the first one is probably the best and the only real good one in it.
I have to say,
I like the first and third.
Yeah, third one didn't suck. So yeah.
Yeah. I want to say my favorite line in Men in Black is one I've used in my life,
Yes.
which is a person is smart, but people are stupid. And
Yep.
we talk about that with the whole revealing aliens to people, like that you could probably explain it one-on-one to a person, but you're not going to explain it to a bunch of people. Not going to happen.
I think along those lines, we've got another one of my favorite that I quote way more often than the movie actually deserves, and a lot of people don't realize it's an alien movie, and that is the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh,
Is it an alien
Yeah,
movie?
they're
It
from the
is.
planet
They're-
of Transylvania.
from the
Oh, that's right.
the Transylvanian galaxy. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. I cannot believe that is the one.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I'd say that and Coneheads right there as in my head is. I quote them way more than they deserve because they're not that great of movies, but because they're so quotable. We come from France. It's just well, I say that often as I figure that they will do. There was a cheesy one. Oh gosh, the guy who wrote Bill and Ted wrote it. I cannot remember the name of it now. It's killing me. Oh, Evil Alien Conquerors.
What
That's
is
the name of
that?
the movie. It's basically a sci-fi comedy. These basically two very stupid aliens are sent to Earth, and they just are terrible at it. They're sent to conquer Earth, and they just can't do it, and they just keep getting sidetracked. And it's goofy, and it's
Oh,
basically what if aliens were sent to Earth to take it over, and they're just as stupid as we are. So yeah,
I mean, that's a good concept, not gonna lie.
I gotta go. One of my absolute favorites, though, it's another John Carpenter, because John Carpenter is the king of the alien movies, right?
Yeah.
I'm sad that his whatever Mars movie was going to be the next Escape from New York was supposed to be Escape from Mars, but I can't remember the name of it now. Ghosts of Mars. That's it. That was the one. But the one I'm thinking of is the one that actually got an Oscar, and that was Starman.
Oh,
That
yeah.
name sounds familiar, but
Jeff
what movie is
Bridges,
that?
Karen Allen. It is probably one of just the sweetest.
It's a romance movie.
It's a romance movie, and to think that from the guy who brought us Halloween and The Thing, and then he brings us this, and he's basically an alien assumes the form of her dead husband, because
Oh,
and it's so tender and beautiful, and he's got these little beads that can do magic, and it's very cool. Definitely a heartstring movie. But
It's
it's basically Superman,
yeah. No,
right? Which is another alien movie.
so
that's true.
there is one alien invasion movie you haven't brought up. I'm wondering if you're saving it for the end, but we have to wrap up soon. So
Yeah.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
That was my number 2, because man, if anything will ever get you into aliens, that movie.
Yeah. And oh, what about Cocoon? Oh,
Cocoon is up there. My one on top is War of the Worlds, always. So,
please tell me you're talking about the original and not the Tom Cruise.
oh
remake.
no, no. The OG.
I've never seen the original. I've only seen the Tom Cruise one.
The original is so good. It is so
The
good.
George Powell 1950s classic is incredible, and it still holds up to this day. Again, practical effects. They wanted to do stop motion. Ray Harryhausen was actually, they've actually got sketches and stuff and some early stop motion effects that they did, but the original movie it's chills. I get goosebumps every time, and I watch it every Halloween. I'll watch it tomorrow if you want. I think I'm gonna watch it right now.
Mark. We're gonna watch it
Yeah. We're gonna watch it right now, because I will
right
watch
now.
it.
That's what we're gonna do. But I
That may
agree.
be a movie for a movie club night then, Beau. For
Oh, that's a good
favorite.
idea.
Yeah, that'll
Well,
be
Then I can
after
finally see
after
it.
this month. We'll make that next month. That'll be good.
yeah. But I think everything you said was correct on that. Is that that movie? Here's the thing. I think I love scary alien movies. I like it when they do it well, but I think more important, travelers, we've given you a crap ton of, you can
Oh my
go
gosh.
nuts this month with alien movies. Please go nuts with alien movies this month. But I think for me, I love it when they have amazing actors and an amazing script and because it doesn't matter even the plot of it. Like if you look at The Thing, right? They're in an ice camp. There's a lot with The Thing, aliens, where the creature, you're not even seeing it till the very end of the movie.
That's the best.
But the way it's done, it builds up this suspense, and the characters are just so riveting, and the script is amazing that you're okay with Jeff Goldblum using his Mac to upload a computer virus on an alien spaceship.
I think what's another movie I just thought of, I don't know if it came up while I was stuck in the Wayback Machine, is Cloverfield.
I was gonna bring it up, but again, it's one of those, was it an alien or was it created? We still don't know.
He comes from the sky
Well,
in
they according to their background, it wasn't, but then 10 Cloverfield Lane kind of says, yeah, it was
yeah.
So,
I like that one too.
my sad with that one was, I think it was better if we didn't know. It was such a good movie till those last few minutes. Again, I get a lot of, there were some we skipped, like Contact and some others because they're terrible. But
Yeah.
Jake Busey.
Avatar, there's plenty that I don't need to talk about. There's so many that are good. So yeah, definitely find yourself a fun one, find a scary one, find whatever you want. There's so many good ones. If you think we've missed one, let us know. Put it,
Yes.
send us some message. Go to the eerietravels.com, drop us a line and let me
And
know.
let us know what you think when you catch up on these movies. We'd love to hear it.
See if there's one we brought up that we didn't. I almost brought back up Catermass in the Pit or the Catermass Experiment because those are both, but we did those at Halloween. So I didn't want to bring them back for this one, although I did bring back War of the Worlds because I had to. But Catermass in the Pit, alien ghosts. Come on, that's cool too. There's so many good ones that we could have done. I'm glad we did what we did.
I always thought that I didn't like alien movies because aliens are not my favorite trope. But I'm coming to realize that Aliens runs the gamut from any type of movie. It could be a political movie, it could be a military movie, it could be a scary movie. You could
Comedy.
see anything. Yeah, you could see anything and do aliens with it.
Even
And
romance.
I think that's awesome. So
Yep.
maybe
And
I'm going to
Cowboys
try
versus
more of the
Aliens.
movies.
Yo,
Yes,
come
I've
on.
seen that one.
Oh my gosh, Erica, we've given them so much food for thought. We've given everybody so much fun. I think you've got a couple added to your list. I've got a couple added to mine.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna go watch Psycho Goreman again just because it's so much fun.
I can't wait to see that one.
I think you're gonna have fun with that one. I think I'm gonna go watch Paul again just because it's been a little while, and I think it's been long enough now that I can re-enjoy it for the first time.
I think I'm going to go watch Enemy Mine again because I have not seen that in a while, and I'm
It's
just
been a
going to
hot
let
minute.
my heart be broken. So I'm going to go watch that.
Yeah, I think I did that and Last Starfighter. I remember in West Virginia being the only man in the movie theater for both of those. I was a boy in the movie theater for both of those, but which was great because I could run from the front of this back of the theater to the front of the theater every time the spaceships flew by. So it felt like I was, really enjoying them in 3D. Oh my gosh. And then of course we can't say Mom and Dad Saved the World anymore because Jeffrey Jones has been canceled. But that's another great alien movie.
Moving on and wrapping up the show.
Yes. All right. So thank you so much, gang, for tuning in. As always, tune in again. We will continue Alien April for just a few more. We've got upcoming listener episodes. We've got another big interview episode coming up. We've got a lot of fun still ahead. We'll be moving into May soon, and we'll have another theme there that I think you'll all enjoy. But as always, share, subscribe, do all the things, join the Patreon if you want to enjoy these discussions live, especially with our upcoming listener questions. We'd appreciate it. And we appreciate all the support from our sponsors. Please give them, pick up the books that are advertised, pick up the music from Destiny Beard and all this other fun stuff. And we've got other sponsors coming in all the time now. So this is going to be crazy. Year 2 is just exploding. Follow us, EerieTravels.com, find out where we're going to be. And with that, gang, I will just simply say, keep watching the skies, beware of the alien invaders next door. And as always, we'll see you on the other side.